This is Daniel Caycedo with Colorado MMA News, and today I'm joined by Ali Abouzalam. Ali, thank you very much for joining me. And this is ahead of your fight coming up on January 30th for Sparta, where you'll be fighting Garma Scheinbayer in a welterweight fight at 170 pounds, and this will be your second fight in mixed martial arts. So how are you feeling here about 2 weeks out?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me, Daniel. I really appreciate it. I'm feeling fantastic. I really am. I'm very excited. I love mixed martial arts. I always have, and I'm ecstatic just to put on a show for the fans and my friends and family. I love being in the cage, so I'm ecstatic about it.
Awesome. And Sparta's a great opportunity. I mean, they invest a lot into their show, and it's at first it was mainly Colorado, but now they're moving to be bigger in the region. So it's an awesome platform to be on, especially in your second mixed martial arts fight. So and your first fight was for Sparta too. So what is it like fighting for this promotion?
It's really great, Daniel. You know, the people over at Sparta are genuinely really good people. I've had the opportunity just attending events for my teammates and coaches and being around the Sparta crew. Jeff, Rob Wright, all those guys are really just genuinely good people. I like how they're always giving back. I follow them on social media, and, you know, as human beings, we feel energy, we feel that vibe. And I've always gotten a good vibe from them from the beginning. And I had actually the first fight that I ever had booked with them fell through the day before, really frustrating. And I had all these ticket sales and, and it was just a frustrating experience, but they really went above and beyond to make things right. And I appreciated that. And I didn't put pressure on. I kind of wanted to see how they would handle it.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, hey, this is my situation. And they increased my commissions, and they really went above and beyond. And then when I got to do my first fight back in July with them, they really took care of me. They marketed me, and it was just a great experience. So I'm really grateful to be fighting for a promotion like Sparta. They're top class.
Yeah, absolutely. And they do a great job of shining light on the guys local here. So that's awesome to hear behind the scenes. It's working just as smoothly as it seems from our side.
Yeah.
So you're training at Trials MMA up in Fort Collins. Ryan Schultz there leading the way, and then you also your teammate is fighting this weekend. Actually, Michael Stack, another killer up there. So who do you generally work with, and what does training camp look like for this fight?
Yeah, you know, I'm really grateful and privileged to work with a lot of really great fighters out of J Train or out of Trials. You know, J Train. I was just training with J Train this morning.
Oh, cool.
And that's a huge privilege and opportunity as well. You know, he's a new world champion out of LFA and now in Bellator. Mike Stack, like you said, is about to fight on Friday. He's an absolute beast. We also have other pros: Coleman Scribner, Andrew Lip, Jake Mendez. Just a lot of really good talent in there. And I'm grateful to say that I get to work with all of them. And then, of course, Ryan it does an amazing job. He's just so passionate about mixed martial arts, and it shines through in the way that he coaches and the way that he really leads us. And it's a privilege. I feel really grateful to train at Trials. And it's not only just amazing teammates and coaches, but it's an amazing energy and vibe there. Just the quality of people that gym attracts is so high. And we just have a lot of amazing things going on. So I'm feeling thoroughly prepared and just grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. And how did you stumble into Trials MMA? I mean, when did this journey, at least specifically at Trials, start for you?
I went into Trials for the first time in summer 2017, I believe, or spring 2017. And I had just known that I always at some point was going to do an MMA fight. I'm a big goal setter, and a goal was I wrote down win first MMA fight 2019. And like while I was doing some goal setting activities, maybe in 2016. And I moved to Fort Collins, and I was kind of reviewing goals, and I was like, all right, I guess it's about time to start working towards that goal. And I went in Trials and started with jiu-jitsu first, and then built on from there.
Cool. Manifesting it. I love it.
Yeah.
So working at Trials, you're 1-0 overall in MMA. What made you decide to take that second fight? What made you decide to continue that journey after accomplishing the goal?
Great question. For me, I didn't really know what, because it was like you said, it was just accomplishing that goal. That was really just to win my first MMA fight. That was the goal. And again, back to being able to train with true professionals in the sport, Jay Train, Mike Stack, all those guys that I was mentioning, I kind of got to see firsthand what it looks like at that next level. And I had so much fun where I was like, I want to do this again. I feel good. I feel that fighting, there's so many analogies to life of really working hard and having to overcome not only really hard physical tasks, but mental tasks too. And that I feel at my best all around when I'm in a groove with fighting. So I was like, you know what? After my first fight, I did a lot of back and forth and questioning, like, what am I doing this for? Why do I want to do this? Because it's a big time, energy, money investment, everything.
Yep.
And my goal now, Daniel, is just to be the best martial artist I can be. Because I love martial arts, and I'm gonna be rolling around in a gi even when I'm in my 50s. It's gonna be part of my life forever. So I'm like, hey, while I'm young, why not compete and see where it goes? I'm having a great time, and I'll probably continue to compete as long as I always keep it fun.
I love it. I love it. So, just to back up a little bit, then, one thing that stood out to me and was very interesting is that, you set this as your goal to have your first MMA fight and win it, right? Win your first MMA fight. But leading up to that, I'm sure fight camp was hard. Mentally, physically, it's kind of getting to this point of, all right, now I just need to get to the fight and get through it, win it to hit my goal. But then, like you said, your fight falls through. Your first fight didn't happen. So what are you thinking at that time? Like, is it, hey, maybe it's not meant to be, or this is just one more hurdle that I'm going to overcome on my en route to my goal?
Yeah, definitely just a hurdle. As somebody who continuously sets and achieves and falls short of goals on a consistent basis, I know that there's always obstacles and shit happens. It's just you have to be willing to choose what shit that you're okay with. And shit like a fight falling through, I'm good, because guess what? That just means I'm that much more prepared for the next one. So of course it was frustrating, and I had family fly and friends and people fly up from Texas, and
Oh, wow.
and a bunch of people traveled, especially the day before.
Yeah.
And so I had every reason to be pissed and angry or sad or whatever, but I honestly really got to make it an opportunity to have a good time with all these amazing people around me, watch some of my teammates fight. Two of my teammates, Rashid and Josh, fought on that card, put on great performances, and I just had a good time. I wasn't going to let that bring down my vibe. So, and then, I had my next one, and it went beautifully well, exactly how I wanted it to go.
Yeah, that's great perspective. And like you said, the next fight went very well. It's a round one TKO win. Can't get any better than that. So then, going from your fight falling out to getting a first round TKO victory in your first fight ever. I mean, what is that feeling like? What's it feel like to get your arms raised, not only knowing that you just had an awesome performance, but you accomplished a goal that you set out years ahead of time to accomplish?
Yeah, it felt so good, Daniel, and it felt so right, and in that moment, like getting my hand raised, I had rehearsed it a million times, so many times. Like after every practice, I rehearsed that feeling of my first hand getting raised, the second one hand raised, me opening my hands, thanking God and the universe, and then bringing it down for a flex like that, like hell yeah. And I'd rehearsed that so many times, so it was just like it was that deja vu, that whole full circle experience that happens when you really visualize and are trying to attract something. So it felt great. It felt so good. And of course, just everything leading up to the moment, from like cutting weight, the eating the food, the seeing the family, the seeing the friends, getting in the cake. Like it's just this continuous experience of amazingness. And it's tough to beat. It's tough to beat something like that, especially when you work really, really hard for it, and then it happens exactly how you planned it to happen. There's not many things in the world that feel better than that.
Very cool. Yeah, and so you're 2 weeks out from your next fight here. It'll be your second MMA fight overall. You kind of painted the picture of working with all these high level guys at Trials MMA. Ryan Schultz leading the way. What does the schedule actually look like for you? Like, is it grappling on Mondays, striking on Tuesdays, or what does that schedule look like?
Yeah. I train. I consider myself, even though I'm an amateur, I try to be a professional in anything that I do. You know, I'm a business owner, have been for 6 years. Anything that I do, I try to do like a professional. So same thing applies to my fight. So I'm training really hard. Fight camp looks like about 2 practices a day. Sometimes it'll be like today is grappling in the morning and then fight team practice at night. I also do 45 minutes, depending on how I'm feeling, of some sort of outdoor activity, whether that's just walking the dog. Sometimes it can be real light, or a light jog, or some stretching. I've been incorporating yoga. My girlfriend's a yoga instructor, so I've really gotten my flexibility up, which helps tremendously. My flexibility and balance. I think the flexibility and balance can be overrated in MMA, or underrated. I'm sorry. So yeah, about 7 to 10 practices a week, and a little bit of cardio and weights. Typically, what a normal week looks like.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So, again, 2 weeks out, what does a weight cut look like for you? So you're fighting at 170 pounds. What does a normal weight cut look like for you heading into this 2 week span?
Yeah, I'm dialing it in now. So I was at about 186 yesterday morning, and I've been dieting really clean for, with the exception of a little snacking here and there. Really clean for the past 2 weeks, and even when I'm not, still pretty clean, but bringing the weight down, starting to reduce the calories. Not eating anything off the diet. I work with an awesome bodybuilder, nutritionist, Logan Clark, who helps out some of our guys with diet. So, I'm sending him my stuff, and again, just using a professional of like, he's taking care of me on this. And then as we get closer, start to manipulate some salt and water towards the end to really get down the last few pounds of water weight. But sitting pretty good right now, and feeling pretty good. Still able to train at a high level because I'm not cutting too much of my food.
Right.
But as we get lower, I'll have to taper it down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a tough balance to find.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you know about your opponent? Do you know anything about Garma Scheinbayer, this upcoming matchup, and what are your thoughts on the matchup in general?
Yeah. He definitely has a good grappling background. He has a black belt in judo and a blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and he's competed in lots of judo and jiu-jitsu tournaments. I haven't seen or found anything at all about his striking, so that I really know nothing about. The videos that I've seen, he looks like a tough fighter. Obviously, he accepted the fight, so I never underestimate anyone. I'm grateful to him and have respect for him for anyone who chooses to do this sport. I hope he shows up at his best. I think that I'm going to overwhelm him. I just know how hard that I'm training and what level that I take this to. And I truly do feel like a professional. So I'm going to be going out there, and, we train way harder and longer than just 3-minute rounds, three amateur rounds. So I'm going to push the pace every second in there. Like, you're not getting any breaks with me. So I'm going to try to finish him in the first round as well. If that doesn't happen, that's fine. But, anyone that's getting in the cage, like, to survive 3 minutes with me is an accomplishment. I believe, because I know how hard I'm pushing and how hard I'm getting pushed. So respect. But yeah, I want that first round finish again.
I love it. And I'm excited to see it, man. I'm excited to see what you got, and try to move to 2-0 with 2 first round finishes. That'd be sick.
That's the plan.
Cool. So, not to look past this fight or anything, but obviously, like you said, you're on this journey. You're committed to it for the long term. What do you see for yourself after this fight?
Well, as a business owner, that's definitely something that I have struggled with, of like how much do I stay committed? So I did enjoy taking a little bit of time off. But then naturally I kind of saw that even when I don't have a fight scheduled, I love training. I'm always in the gym and I'm always getting better. So I'll probably take some time because I get so focused on the fight that other areas of my life get watered down a little bit. But I know I'll do another MMA fight. We'll circle back with coach, see how this one goes. See if he's like, hey, you know, I think another couple amateur, or like, hey man, you dominated. If you want to make the jump and compete at a higher level, let's look at that too, you know. So I really trust my coaches, and I'm open to what they say. But whatever happens, I definitely see another MMA fight in the future, whether that's at the amateur level, pro level, whatever it is.
Awesome. Yeah, and you have a wealth of knowledge and experience around you. So, like you said, you know, you can put your trust and faith in your coaches, and I'm sure they'll lead you the right way.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm excited to see you fight. So, tell us a little bit more about how people can watch the fight, how they get you credit for it, and how they can follow your career and you in general online.
Yeah, definitely. So Sparta is doing everything online for this one. It's spartase.com. And when you purchase them, if you can just please use code Ali, ALI, for my name. That's how they give us fighters commission on the tickets. There's also pay-per-view as well if you can't make it in person. But you can get those there. And then for me, I definitely do a lot of my sharing of my MMA journey on my Instagram, and that's just my first and last name, Ali Abouzalam, at Ali Abouzalam on Instagram, and always putting stuff on there.
Awesome. So go give him a follow his career, follow both careers, right? MMA and your business. Show him your support, buy your tickets, use Ali as the code. And Ali, man, thank you very much for joining me, and I really look forward to seeing you put it on January 30th.
Hey, thank you very much, Daniel. Really appreciate it.